So this is the Goal Zero Yeti 400 along with their 20 amp solar panel. We got a whole range. This is the Nomad 20. I chose it because it folds up. It's relatively compact and it gets the job done. I looked at the Boulder 30. It's a little bit larger, 30 watts, and it didn't fold like this, so that was primarily why I picked this. I realized that having a battery in between the solar panel and your electric bike or other device kind of seems like it's defeating the purpose. I mean, this is a heavy pack here. This weighs 30 pounds, and lifting it is it's not a lot of fun, just because it's so small and, it's kind of unwieldy. And I want to bring this along with me in my car so that while I'm traveling, I can charge my bike if I'm camping, or I can run my laptop. And I love that it has 210 volt outlets right here. It's got USB, it's got that 12 volt cigarette lighter adapter, and that's also what these two other ports are. They're designed to run Goal Zero specific lights and other accessories, and this is where you charge the pack. Okay, so it's nice that it's really versatile, it's easy to use. There is a Yeti 150, and I thought, which one do I really want? But then when I really started to research it and realized that I might be off the grid for several days, this one can charge your laptop a few times, not just once. And I was kind of weighing that against the size. This isn't terribly bulky. It definitely fits maybe behind the seat in your car, but coming back to the weight, I was very concerned that if I get in a car accident, this thing could go flying around my car, especially if I rolled, and bludgeon me to death. So, I'm looking at ways to kind of strap it down. But getting back to the point, this is one of the most affordable and kind of easy ways to solar charge your electric bike or other electronic device. And for me, it's like, I've seen the Organic Transit Elf. It's a really cool little velomobile thing, and it has solar panels built right into the canopy. Marissa Muller, she's ridden across the United States on a specialized turbo, pulling a couple of 240 watt solar panels by sun power. And then there's also some projects going on with Daymac and other companies putting solar panels in the wheels and stuff. There's a broad range of solutions. This is kind of consumer level. It's like you could have this hanging out at your house, hang this in your window. That's why it has all these little loops. Hanging out in your window, have your battery pack just sitting there on the floor being trickle charged, and you would be getting power from the sun. And in fact, leaving it charged in, that helps to prolong the batteries in here, because these are absorbent glass mat. It's kind of a sealed lead acid variant. If you look at the box here, so it says, hey, 400 watt hour solar generator. It's the Yeti 400. Check this out right up here on the top. Charge me now to prevent battery failure. Keep me plugged in, or charge me every 3 months. So this is the big difference that we saw several years ago, going from electric bikes that had sealed lead acid batteries, very, very heavy. They're more temperature sensitive. You have to kind of charge them all the time. They can develop a memory if you let them go all the way down. It's kind of like batteries in your car. And, if you've ever had that kind of a failure where you come back to your car, you haven't driven it for a while, or it's really cold and it won't start, same kind of thing with these. It's just that they're more affordable. They're relatively cheap, and they're more plentiful. They're a little bit more environmentally friendly to produce and recycle. So there are some great benefits to using absorbent glass mat, sealed lead acid. It's just the trade-off is it's really heavy. It's not going to get as many charge cycles, maybe like 500 to 800 versus 1500 plus on lithium ion, but the price is significantly cheaper. So that said, this is not the most affordable product out there. This is like $460. That's what I paid for it. I got it directly off of Goal Zero's website. You can get it on Amazon for even cheaper, like $380. So, we're talking about an $80 difference, and you're like, well, why wouldn't you just get it off Amazon? I get a lot of stuff off Amazon. In this case, I opted to buy it direct because they sort of guarantee. I called in and they're like, yep, ours have been charged. They aren't just sitting in a warehouse. Amazon, on the other hand, it's hard to tell. Are you going to get a battery that comes and it's not completely charged? Mine was. So if I turn the power on the display, it's full. It just arrived. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in and kind of keep it on the battery tender like they suggest. But it's good to know that, this was taken care of, and that I'm not getting batteries that are already kind of starting to wear out. If we open this up, there's another warning. Hey, charge me now to prevent battery failure. So they're really giving you lots of feedback. The other things that come with this are, they're over here. This is the little This is a little charger. It's nice that the plug comes out the side so it can get a little bit more compact. 1.3 amp input, output 5 amps. So 5 amps is quite a lot. And here's the plug. Looks like that. You can just plug it right into the blue. I love how everything's kind of color coordinated. So input is blue, output, if it's USB, it's red, AC is kind of this gray. Coming back to, why can't you just go straight from a solar panel into your bike? Well, you can, but you need something that changes the electricity and perfectly matches it to the input for your bike. And bikes and electric bikes and other electronics, they have the different requirements, right? So the requirements for the input on this battery might be different from the inputs for your bike. And yes, you can go to Radio Shack and you can get little dongles like this. This one actually comes with it in case you have an older Goal Zero product. You can kind of convert it and still use the charger and stuff. But you'd need to do that. You need to figure that out yourself. And then you kind of need to bring the panels along or park your bike right near a window, or maybe close enough that you can kind of wire from this panel or another panel. So it's just a lot more screwing around. Whereas with the Goal Zero, you just buy it, you set this plus the solar panel near a window or wherever, and you're all set. So I'm actually probably not going to be using the solar panel a whole lot on my adventures, unfortunately, because I think I'm going to need to use it a whole lot more. I might use this solar panel to directly charge as a 12-volt outlet here. We've got that's the long cord that goes directly into the Yeti, if you want to do it that way. And then they've got like a little USB port. So there's lots of accessories, but again, those are for it's just not a lot of power that you're getting from this. 20 watts versus Marissa Muller's like 2 times 240, so 480. This is just, it's going to take forever. In fact, the website, it says using this panel to charge that battery takes 40 to 80 hours of good sunlight. Okay, that's a lot. That's like 4+ days with good sunlight. I don't know if I'm going to have that time. I'm going to do my best, but I might also be laying this in my car, and you're going to get some inefficiency going through the glass windows on my car into the solar panel. I'm just not sure. So I bought this. It's a 12-volt car charger. So it just goes from your cigarette lighter out to the same sort of blue plug. It goes right in there. So I'm going to be able to put this behind my seat, latch it down. I'm going to kind of have that 12-volt charger wired right in. Okay, and this only takes like 5 hours is what they say. So feels a whole lot better to me than waiting days and days and days and maybe not ending up with something that works. A lot of people, I was reading the comments and stuff, and they're like, why doesn't it just come with this? Like, everyone needs one of these. And I kind of agree, but it's only $8 on the Goal Zero website. They were actually sold out of these on Amazon. So you could potentially still get the battery directly so that you knew that it wouldn't have a memory, and then get your solar panels and accessories separately. This is $200 for this 20-watt panel right here. So kind of keep that in mind. And then I got this little gift because I ordered directly from Goal Zero, and it's like a little phone charger thing. Again, it's got that little battery connected directly to some really small solar panels, and I think they're giving them away because no one was really buying them, and kind of has limited use. So I wanted to read some of the other specs that they list just in terms of performance on this product. With the Yeti 400, that's the one we got here, you can get 100 headlamp charges, 30+ smartphone charges. If you have a GoPro, which is what I'm using to film right now, 70+ charges. Digital camera, 20+ charges. Tablet, 10+ charges. And laptop, 3 to 5. So that's what I was talking about. I use my laptop all the time when I'm creating video reviews for electric bikes and products on the go. And so being able to top it off without, needing to go to a gym or something and then leave it sitting there out exposed, or going to a library. Sometimes I just want to have access to power directly. And yeah, I could run my car, but then you're burning a lot of gasoline and stuff. With this, I can just drive and it charges up slowly as I'm going on my way. My car's outputting electricity anyways as I drive, so I might as well store some of it with the Goal Zero. So some of the other feedback, we were talking about this earlier, they have the Yeti 150. That's the one I was thinking about because it also has 110-volt outlets, but it only has one. And again, it's kind of limited. If we were charging the Yeti 400 via the wall, it would be 5 hours. And I actually misspoke earlier. To use the cigarette lighter adapter, it's 13 hours. So, that's a long time, even with the cigarette lighter adapter. And then if you go up to solar panels, the Nomad 20, which is what we've got here, it's 40 to 80 hours. That's what I was talking about. And then if you go to the Boulder 30, that's the one that doesn't fold, it's about half, 26 to 52 hours. So those are some of the options to consider. This product, you know, I did feel like I was spending a lot of money on it, but I did some research online, and you can actually open this up and replace the AGM cells yourself later, and they're much, much less expensive. So once you've got the interface with all the converters and plugs and stuff like that, I think you're kind of set, and you could just keep putting different batteries in here as long as you take care of it. So I was going to go ahead and open this up and see what it looks like inside. Okay, so I've used my just standard hex wrench here. Looks like 1/4 inch. Took the bolts up, and voila. There's the battery in there. There's the Absorbent Glass Mat battery. We'd still have to take off a couple more bolts, and then, you know, the wiring there. But that's pretty simple. You know, this just holds it down. It's pretty clear, you know, black over here, red over here on the left, plus, minus. And those batteries, direct from Goal Zero, are $99. So again, you spend that $400, $450 to get this, and then for $100 you can kind of keep updating it. They also say on the website that you get 500 to 800 full cycles, but that's a full cycle, like all the way down, and it does really it matters, you know, whether you kind of keep this thing topped off and make sure that you charge it every few months, just so that the battery isn't draining and then kind of transitioning and turning bad. I wanted to talk about the charger again. This is about a pound, weighted earlier. I love how thin and compact it is, and it comes with some Velcro. Here is the solar panel that we were looking at earlier, and it just folds up like this, and it's magnetic right there, so that's kind of cool too. So that's the Nomad 20. I love the zipper pack. I weighed this a minute ago, 2.5 pounds, and I did take out kind of the accessories, the ones that weren't built right in. So you know, everything else is pretty small and compact. It's just, you know, it's large. The Yeti 400 is large, and it's heavy. 30 pounds is kind of a lot to lift, but it does feel stable, and it's got rubber pads on the bottom. Okay, so the Goal Zero is all set up. I've got an electric bike here and the solar panel. I'm gonna go ahead and just plug this in, see what kind of feedback we get. It comes to life. I love that it's backlit, and the default just says input watts, output can actually be changed. So I'm gonna hold display for a second. I can go through amps, volts, 12.4 volts, 0 watts, 0 amp hours, 1 watt hour. So you can kind of go through, and you know, right now nothing's plugged in, but it's just neat to have those readouts. That's how you adjust it. To activate any of these, I would need to plug something in and then press the little button above it, like 12 volt. Now that could be charging, but nothing's plugged into it. So I've given it a second here just to kind of calibrate. The solar panel is getting some, you know, low light. Like, it's the middle of the day. It's like 1 o'clock, but it's a little bit overcast. We got a big tree right there blocking some of our view. And I was a little bit disappointed that it doesn't say more about the input. It just says low watts. So I guess that's what we're getting. We're getting some low watts. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the bike now. I was just out riding it. Go ahead and plug it in. It's already plugged into the base of the bike. That's a charging port. And this is a pretty powerful charger. It's a 4 amp. So a lot of electric bike chargers are just 2 amps. I'm curious to see what happens. So click AC, and now immediately it's jumping up. It says output 0.3 amps, 0.4 amps. It's kind of flickering back and forth, I guess adjusting itself. I'm going to do the display again here. So I'm going to go from amps. This is 12.4 volts, 6 watts, 0.0 amp hours. I guess that's how much energy it would have sent. 1 watt hours. Okay, so kind of interesting, you know, 0.3, 0.4 amp output. You know, I've noticed that this Goal Zero Yeti 400 has 2 fans on it on the side, and I haven't actually heard them activate yet. It's a pretty cool day. You know, we're charging the bike. We just plugged it in. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about size. So the battery capacity for the Specialized Turbo Levo is 504 watt hours. Capacity for the Goal Zero Yeti 400 is 396 watt hours. So if you're someone who thinks like, oh, I'm going to charge with solar and I'm just going to like charge my whole bike, it depends on your battery, how big that thing is on your electric bike. I'd say an average size battery is 36 volt 10 amp hours, which is 360 watt hours. So this is above average for sure. But you know, I could get quite a bit of a charge there, you know, about 400 out of 500. So it's not too bad, but that's going to completely drain this. And again, it's 5 hours to charge from the wall, 13 hours to charge from solar in good conditions, probably not when it says low. And right now, just from sitting around the house, I haven't actually used this yet for anything. It was fully charged a couple weeks ago, and now it's down to like 60%. Okay, so on its own, that's like the slow draining from the Absorbent Glass Mat battery that you got to worry about. You want to keep this thing plugged into the solar panel or maybe plugged into the wall just so that it maintains those lead acid batteries there. But I'm very happy with, you know, just how really compact it is. It's relatively portable, and it's quiet and it's clean. Like, the thing about a traditional gas-powered, like, internal combustion generator is that it's loud and it produces like smoke and toxic chemicals like benzene, which can damage bone marrow and cause leukemia, just particulate matter. You can inhale that, and it creates asthma, lung cancer. It's not fun if you're camping, or you really couldn't put that inside your car. A lot of times RVs have a little compartment below the RV where you've got your generator. Yes, those are faster, more powerful. You just go to the pump, fill it up with gas. They have their place. But if you've got a little bit of extra time, this can be a really quiet, really clean solution. And I just love that. Yeah, still no fans. I'm going to go ahead and unplug these and just plug that the Yeti 400 directly into the wall and see if that activates the fans, because I'd like to hear what those sound like. Okay, I plugged it right into the wall there, and now we're getting some better feedback. It says input 66 watts. So that's awesome. That's fast, and we're going from kind of that 60%, and it's flashing on 80, telling us that that's the next step. Nothing's being charged off of the Goal Zero right now, so I guess that's not enough load to actually trigger those fans. But it's interesting to see that, you know, 66 watts are going in. I wanted to kind of go over here, go back down to watts that we had before. I think it was saying 6. So, you know, 66 in from a wall, and it's putting out 6 to go to the electric bike a moment ago. And that's one of the things. The website says officially that, you know, it receives energy just as fast as it puts it out. So if this took 4.5, 5 hours to charge from the wall, which is the case with the Levo, it should take about the same amount of time using the Goal Zero battery pack. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful. I realize it's not exactly like charging your electric bike directly with solar, but all the solutions I found to do that, they're just, there's endless possibilities of how you wire it up, the connectors, what bike do you have, what are the charging voltage output. It's a lot to figure out, but people have done it. Again, Melissa Muller is someone out there, but you can also go on YouTube and search that. For everyone else who's just looking for kind of portable power that they could charge on the sun, that, you know, they can kind of leave at their house if they're riding their bike to work and back every day, this is a pretty sweet solution. Goal Zero does make larger batteries. They make larger solar panels. I got the one that seemed like the best fit for me because I'm mobile. I'm driving around in my car doing reviews. And yeah, I guess I'm open to questions or feedback. Maybe you're someone who's done this and has a little bit more of like an electrical engineer background and can point to some other resources. I'm going to do a full write-up on this back at the site, ElectricBikeReview.com, where I'll list the weight and the specs and everything. Goal Zero does a really good job on their website also, but it's just a space where there's open comments and you can maybe ask some more questions or connect with other people. So anyway, I hope this helped you out a little bit. Ride safe, and hopefully we'll see more solar charging options in the future. It's pretty cool.